going to share one of my screens here. So let's have a look. Okay, so Tracy, can you see that?
I can.
Yeah, okay. Get underway. Just a sec. So a few other people may turn up, but we'll get underway. All right, so that's the technical side done. All right. Okay, everybody, so welcome to contract reading training free webinar, just to give you a taste for what this work is about. So I'm Nicholas David Nann of the Centre for Conscious Ascension, and I've been doing this work about 26 years now, and this work was the beginning of my spiritual journey, actually. And I'll talk a little bit about how I got there, and then we'll just see what you guys need from this webinar as well. Okay. So I arrived in America for the first time in 1990 in Arizona, going to a workshop called the Carousel of Growth, run by Frank Alper, who was my teacher of this work. And I walked into this room full of 30 people I had never met before in Phoenix. And what happened was that they seemed really familiar. I was like, I know most of these people, even though I never met them in this life. And so it was like a coming home for me when I did this work. And part of that week-long training, Frank was offering 1 hour, what they call spiritual numerology, Moses readings, which is the name he used for this work. I called it soul contract reading because it sort of reflected more what it's actually about here, and presenting it in England and Europe. And so I booked up one of these readings, and he took out a Star of David, and he asked me for my birth certificate name, and then he converted it to Hebrew sounds and Hebrew numbers, and he decoded those numbers using the Star of David and explained my entire disparate, crazy life, seemingly directionless life in 1 hour. And it totally changed me, and I left that room feeling that I need to learn this. And then I asked him later in the workshop, I said, well, Frank, where can I learn this? He said, well, I'm teaching this in about 6 weeks. So I thought, well, I'll just stay in America for another 6 weeks, and which is what I did. And I ended up going to the training and really felt so at home learning this work. And then I came to England, and I started giving little readings doing this work, and I felt I needed to start sharing this once I'd done readings for a few years, and I started teaching it in about 1994. And that's how this sort of got started. And probably in the late 90s, I had this idea of, it'd be good to write a book about this, because Frank hadn't written a book. Well, he'd been trying to, but he never got it finished, because he passed in 2007. And that idea sort of came and went. And then when I started doing this work full-time in 1997, I did a lot more readings and gathered a lot more information. And then it came to me again in about 2010, 2011, it's time to write a book, and this is how Your Soul Contract Decoded started. And then it all sort of happened from there. So this work basically showed me my soul contract. It showed me the spiritual map of my life, which had been not particularly pleasant. It had been very challenging. I had no idea what was going on. Didn't know why I was here on Earth. I was always asking that question, why am I here? And it answered all those questions, and I've been following that spiritual map of life ever since. And it sort of said to me I was here to be a teacher and to empower people, which is what I do now, and here to be a writer and a leader. And so I thought it'd be really good to share it with others, with the book, which is done very well, and on Amazon here in the UK and in the USA. It became a #1 bestseller. And then I also wanted to train practitioners to spread this word of this real truth, because it seems to be that the biggest question most people ask is, why am I here? So what I'd like to actually ask now is ask you guys, because each of these webinars is unique, is why are you here? What would you like from this webinar? So, Tracy, do you want to tell me why you're here?
Well, I'm in a situation that I just need to find some clarity to be able to move forward in my life, and it seems to boil down to it makes sense, the name, and been struggling to overcome everything that I read. I bought your book. Everything I read in there made sense according to my reading. I got my soul contract analysis around January. I don't know what the difference is between the mission alignment and the soul contract reading analysis, but whatever it is, I'm in a desperate situation now, and just needing to find my way through it.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Okay, so you guys don't have to say anything if you don't want to, just so you know. But if you do, you're welcome to, because it just sort of sets the energy that I can meet what you need, or you can just put it on the chat if you like as well, which is at the bottom of the screen. Right, that's the other way to communicate with me. So, Sonia, do you want to either speak or put it in the chat why what do you need from this webinar? Because I designed the webinar based on what people need. So, let's have a look here. No, okay. Harry, do you want to just either speak or message me what you'd like from this webinar? And then we can work it out from there. See if you can come up with a message. Okay, we seem to have lost Harry as well. Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure what's happening. So so I haven't heard from you, Sonia. So we'll just proceed if you don't want to share anything, which is fine. Okay. So okay. So what do spiritual seekers really need? We're all spiritual seekers. People who are light workers, people who are on the spiritual path. And we all come and go to sleep initially on Earth. We go to sleep so we go into unconsciousness and we forget who we actually are, that we're spirit embodied. It's so that we can experience the human experience at the deepest level. Because at a soul level, we need to understand that experience before we can actually get on with our mission of service here on Earth. Because if we don't know how the human condition works, then it's going to be very difficult to relate to people here. I mean, Tracy, have you felt quite different from most people here on Earth for most of your life?
Well, most people seem to act differently towards me, so I suppose so.
Yeah. How do they actually act?
Almost like they don't understand me. Hostile. A lot of hostility. I seem to draw a lot of hostility.
Okay. And how have you been coping with that? That's quite tough to have that.
Yeah. Well, I have meditation. I've been on a path, self-realization path, for a number of years, but not so disciplined.
Okay.
But I don't know. Am I from? Am I? I don't know what I am. If I'm.
We'll find out in a little while. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So spiritual seekers, as they awaken, as we awaken. I mean, I woke up when I was about 26, 27. I was born in New Zealand. As they awaken, they need to connect with and manifest their life purpose or their soul purpose. That's the most important thing for a spiritual seeker, because we all feel that there's something that someone hasn't told us. Okay, something very important, and we go and search for that. And so we seek out the tools and knowledge to awaken to our purpose, because it's not something that we can find out from work or school or just society in general, because there's a feeling generally that someone hasn't told me the whole truth. Is that correct for you, Tracy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, you conclude that actually they have no idea either, most people.
And I have searched so many different places.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, are you prepared to do whatever it takes to achieve that, Tracy, to find out your real purpose?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
When it's intolerable, that's when it happens.
Yeah, it is.
When you're prepared.
Yeah. So many people, the Great Spirit sends many light workers, many spiritual seekers here. About 2 to 5% of the world's population are spiritual seekers, high frequency souls who have been through the school of Earth before, here, this sort of school, or been to other planets. And we actually don't need to do this. We come here to serve. Okay, and so as a spiritual seeker, you are the answer to that search to help others awaken who are on the path to make a difference down here, because it's bringing our higher consciousness here, which is key to actually, absolutely key to transforming Earth, raising the consciousness of the other 95 to 98% of the population who go really asleep in consciousness and forget that they are the spark of the divine like we are. And so the purpose of the soul contract reading work is to really decode the secrets of the blueprint of life for spiritual seekers, hidden within the sounds of their birth name. Are you familiar with the law of attraction, Tracy?
Yes.
Yeah, and so the soul contract basically is the program behind the law of attraction, which creates each moment of your life. And that decides whether you can have that red Ferrari or not. And usually in most cases you don't need it, so it's not going to turn up. But there are other things which it
I'm not interested in a red Ferrari.
Which it can create for you, yeah. All right. And so this spiritual map of life empowers them to overcome their karma. Karma is basically just a set of unresolved past life issues the soul brings into this life to be transmuted. And within the karma lies our gifts as part of the answer to why we're here. Because the law of attraction comes in with the law of opposites. So initially you get everything you don't like in life, so you can discover what you do want. Has that been the case for you, Tracy?
Yes.
A lot of stuff you don't like, yeah.
Yes, and your book really, that really popped in for me.
Yeah. So what's happening here is that it's by engaging with our biggest challenges, our karma, and transforming them, transmuting them into our positive gifts of service through conscious awareness and feeling, then that brings on our gifts. And our talents are used to overcome the karma. It's latent within us. And then once these talents get stronger, it helps us achieve our goals. And if we get this far, we manage to get our karma, our talents, and our goals. We can work through them. Then we can start to achieve our life purpose or soul destiny. Yeah. That's the thing we really seek. And sometimes we wish a big slab would come down from heaven, a biblical slab, and tell us exactly what we're here to do, but it doesn't seem to happen like that. It's more like you get layers of the story when you're ready to hear it. Okay. So basically what happens is that we start off with the Star of David, and in fact, Tracy, I'll demonstrate using your name if you like. You happy for that? I'll give you a little reading.
Okay.
Help?
Yes.
Yeah, so let's get this, my software up and running here. Let me just clear. Let's just erase this. Okay. So, okay. So put your current name in here.
Now, I don't know. I still have my married name, and I thought, I mean, I've changed my email address, and I've been trying to change my identity back to my maiden name, but actually I don't know which one is worse or better. So I did my contract on my maiden birth name.
Well, that's the one to do it on. You need to.
Okay, because I'm divorced. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still have the married name.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to adjust the screen share to show you the Star of David. Hang on. Oops, wrong one. Just a sec.
I have my reading right here.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to put it on the screen so that
sure.
It can be seen if you're okay with that. Okay, so Tracy, what's your birth certificate name?
Tracy Louise Gasper.
Okay. And when were you born?
I was born on November 21st, 1962.
Okay.
And do you need you don't need the place, right?
Don't need the place, so.
Okay.
Let's show how this works. So.
Taking notes.
I'm making a video recording as well, which but you can take note. You're welcome to take notes, but the video will capture everything, so you don't have to pull your attention away from what's going on here. So
okay.
So basically, this is for people who are watching later. We convert Tracy's name into the equivalent Hebrew sounds. We use 22 Hebrew letters, which are the sounds of God, sounds of the Creator, creating creation. And we match those sounds to your name in English or whatever language it happens to be in. And then in Hebrew, numbers and letters have the same sound and the same symbol. So we get a whole bunch of Hebrew numbers dropping out the bottom here. Then what we do is that we use the Star of David to decode these numbers. All right, and so the way the Star of David works briefly is there's a large physical downward pointing triangle, and this represents the physical side of life, because Tracy Louise Gasper, you're a brand new personality expression of the soul who has not existed before. You're an experiment in consciousness. And your soul has had many other lives with different personalities, but you're brand new this time. So it's wanting to, it's set you in motion, wants to see what you'll learn from this life, okay, on its behalf. So we spend the first 5 cycles of 7 years focused primarily on the physical side of the chart. So it's about learning to walk and talk, get up and running, conditioned responses, education, relationships, etc., careers. And between the ages of 35 and 42, the 6th cycle, the upward pointing triangle. Let's activate. This is more the spiritual mission. This is the beginning of the search for real meaning of life beyond the material world. So when did you start to look for real purpose, Tracy? How old were you?
I was, when I was in parochial school in 5th grade, and I really liked the saints. I didn't like the school or the nuns, but I liked all the statues. It was a beautiful church. But I really didn't translate that into any kind of purpose or search until I was 19. And I was giving somebody a ride home or to their car, and they said something about reincarnation. And I said, what are you talking about? Don't talk to me about that stuff. And I had to give them a ride the next day. And I said, so what was it about that? And it was fast and furious for the rest of my life after that. It was like I caught on fire. And
so you had a bit of an awakening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the awakening can happen earlier than 35 to 42 as well. And so within each of these triangles here, large triangles, these three aspects, is karma, talents and goals, which I just described before, but with a physical outward orientation. So as you work through the karma with the talents get stronger. That helps you achieve the goals here. Welcome back, Harry. And in the spiritual chart here, what happens is that you get spiritual karma, which is like the gateway to higher consciousness, to embodying your real mission. And if you work through this karma and you come into the positive aspects of it, it's one of your major gifts to deliver to the world. You got the same one as me, Tracy. And the spiritual talents here help overcome the karma. If it's a good match, then as they get stronger, that moves you to the spiritual goals here. So if you consciously work through all these 6 aspects here.
They're big ones. Disempowerment.
Yep. Over time, what happens is that this is time this way, and this is percentaging completed. As you work through these over time, you basically come into the positive qualities of each of these. And as you work through them, you start to achieve the soul destiny or life purpose. The biggest question we all ask, well, why am I here? And most people never get the answer to that because they're busy avoiding dealing with their karma. And so life gets life gets really hard when you do that. Mine was like that for a very long time up to recently. And so the soul destiny, the purpose is gradually revealed as you work through all the other outer aspects consciously. And because most people don't have this, it takes them a very long time to work through this, and it's very unlikely they'll get through it all because they don't even know what they're meant to be doing, let alone doing something about it.
It seems like it's been so long, it's starting to atrophy.
Yeah. So, are you feeling stuck, Tracy? Is that what you're saying to me?
I suppose so.
Yeah. Okay. So the stuckness comes from these 6s here, or these little squiggly symbols. They basically come channel symbols that Frank brought through, and little portals of energy, and they sort of talk to me as I go through the reading here. So this is like in physical karma, your lesson is to get unstuck, Tracy. Get unstuck from being blocked. It's about unblocking your creativity. It's about reconnecting to the creativity of the soul. That's what this is about.
Did you happen to read my email by chance? I sent it last night. You probably didn't have time, but
it might have gone to the general email, so I may not have got that one. What did you say?
Antagones.
Antigone.
Yes, he's wonderful.
She's one. Yeah, it's
she. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Anyway, I just the heartbreaking of both parents is in that chart, and I think that has to do with this can't get past that.
So just tell me what happened with your parents. I've got a bit of context, and I can explain which bit of the chart created that. Then we find a way through this.
Well, both parents, a Scorpio and a Leo, very angry. very angry,
Okay.
very hostile living environment.
Yeah. And this created this disempowerment with a 9. The 9 is like a dragon. But you're like a dragon who's been caged up and can't be released. And does it feel like it's scary to let your dragon out, let your parrot in the world? You could do some damage.
Yes. Well, I have a dragon. I have a dragon too.
Yeah. How's the dragon doing at the moment?
Very angry.
Yeah.
A lot of suppressed anger, but it's coming out, and that's scary.
Yeah. Well, there's two sources of the anger. There's the disempowerment of childhood, which is a suppressed dragon here. It's been all chained down. Okay, that came from childhood. So you contracted with your parents for them to be the way they were so that you could feel disempowered. But it's not there to defeat you. Your parents are our biggest challenge. Okay.
And I'm living with my mother for 6 years now, and it's intolerable.
Yeah. Okay, so are you able to move out at some stage, or?
Well, I had a divorce and a complete financial breakdown in 2007-8, and got involved with a con man, rebound, terrible situation. I left in the middle of the night with everything and moved to Sedona, Arizona. And then the world had a financial breakdown, and I ended up coming here with my parents, and I've been struggling to hold jobs, and I've been in counseling for 3 years, and so they're about ready to move back to Los Angeles, and I'm not invited, and so then I won't have anywhere to go, and I'm scared.
Yeah, I hear you. I understand. We'll see what we can do. So this is disempowerment here. So it's happened with happened in your marriage and with this con man, isn't it? By the sounds of it, and with your parents. Okay, and the point of this one is to let go of the ego's resistance to your full power coming out and claim your power back. This is the strongest number in your chart here. Okay.
The 6?
The 9.
The 9.
Coming into your power is an important thing to do.
It's interesting that it's exactly opposite of the 6, just turn upside down.
Yeah. Yeah. So the actual it's different actually. The 9's this powerful dragon that's been repressed. So your most important thing for you to do in life is to unleash your dragon.
Okay.
To work on the shadow, what we call shadow destroyer patterns within the archetype of the suppressed dragon, to release it, to come into your power. Okay. So this contains the anger. And the 6 here, the block creativity, also contains the anger as well. So this is the frustration. Okay. Yeah. So your lesson, physical karma and in soul destiny, is to learn to take an idea that's resonant to you, that's true to you, and then to take it step by step, take it out into a physical reality and manifest it in the world.
Okay.
So what sort of jobs have you been doing, Tracy? Just give me some idea what you've been up to.
Well, for the longest time, I worked for PBS as a full-time, as a full-charge bookkeeper, but it doesn't make sense because I have math phobia, and I'm afraid for everybody to find that out. So I've just been doing like retail jobs that are hurting my body, and I can't last much longer in them. So I'm always looking for another job.
Okay. So what was PBS? Is that accounting? Is that what you said?
PBS, public broadcasting.
Oh, PBS. Okay.
Yes. But I worked 13 and a half years in a landscape contracting nursery, plants, and as an office manager. I like nature.
Yeah. Okay. So Are you very focused, Tracy, or very scattered, or somewhere?
Scattered.
Okay. So what's happening is you've got all these ideas, and your soul's trying to take them off in all sorts of different directions at once.
Yes.
Okay. And it's pulling you in lots of different directions, isn't it? That's,
yes.
It means you can't get anything finished properly, or it takes a while.
Yes.
So what you've got to do is pick one idea, one main idea, and put the rest on the back burner. Okay. The one idea that opens your heart the most. And focus on it so you're here. The idea is that what you want to achieve is over here. You focus on it, and the idea is to basically, step by step, achieve the goal. Just by taking small steps of success to achieve the goal. And see what happens? You get stuck because unless you guarantee success, see, the ego feels, I need to take a big, great leap forward to here. Unless it's guaranteed success, it won't do it. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
Yeah. So you got to break your projects down to little steps and just stay focused. And when you get about 70–80% of the way through, what happens is that the ego will scatter you. There's another good idea, Tracy. Another one here. Then if you get distracted by that, you won't achieve this. So what's the most important thing you want to achieve here? What's the highest priority? You only could do one thing.
Well, I've always wanted to. The thing that resonated the most with me when I was in Sedona was channeling. I have a fear of that because I have a firm belief that you need to be balanced to do that. And so I also want that in combination with nature and helping the earth, which is in my chart. And I found an avenue that I'm working on to do that now.
Okay. So can you tell me
not the channeling part, but
the being in nature?
The nature part.
Do you want to share how that looks? Then I can talk more to that.
Nature intelligence, and being able to not only work, because nature is in everything. Nature intelligence is in your body, and in the soil, and lots of things. And there's soilless gardens like the cities, and just being able to bring balance. It's about balance.
Okay.
For me.
Yeah, well, the nature part of you is these fives. You need to actually be in nature to ground, because you're very sensitive, aren't you, Tracy?
Yes. Yeah. Extremely.
Yeah. You need to be there. So it sounds to me like you need to find something still to do with nature, in terms of work. To get your creativity out in the world. Are you very artistic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm doing adult coloring just to relax, but it's creative.
Yeah.
I can draw.
Yeah, so I would look for something that you can get that creativity out in the world. So I guess working for a landscape business was that inspiring for you? Doing something creative there?
Well, I did like learning. It was kind of like I was a book buyer for 5 years, but that was my next job. So I was, young, and I did like learning how to run an office. I think that was an important skill to learn. But I would go out and save the plants they would put in an area like an ICU unit and see if they could get them to be saleable again. And at the end of the month, they would have a backhoe and they would scoop them up and put them in the garbage. And I'd be in front of that backhoe with a wheelbarrow and I'd bring them home. And I lived in Reno, Nevada at the time, kind of a high desert, and I created this beautiful oasis I lived on Harmony Lane was the name of my street, and it was up and looked down, and you could drive up, and you could just see all this beautiful landscape. But I wasn't aware of the nature intelligence at that time.
Yeah.
I've since seen it.
Yeah, well, there's natural divas which actually look after all the plants. Okay, we just got someone else has joined us. Just a minute. Let's check here.
You know, I'm good, Dave. If you know, I don't want to. You know, if somebody else wants to.
Everyone else seems to be a little shy, so you're it, Tracy. We're partway through this.
I just want everybody to have chance.
Well, we always do one taster reading, you see, and you're the one you're the one game to switch your camera on and engage with me, so you're it. So,
I'm so excited to. I've watched all your shows on Gaiam.
Okay, so you're on. You say it's your turn. Okay, so the universe has organised this for you tonight. So by the looks of it.
Thank you so much.
So I think it's important to find what you love doing and try and incorporate that into work somehow, I would say. And to stay focused. And what you want to do is have a little to-do list of where you want to go with your life and have the steps written out below this and have it, duplicate it, print it off from your computer, have it around the house. And you ask yourself, am I actually on my main priority? And you probably find initially you are not. You got distracted. And to stay focused, carry them out, okay? I know I've got one of these in my chart, so I know what this is like. You can start with one thing and end up about 3 or 4 stages down the road doing something completely different. Okay, so, but let's look at what other attributes you have to help you here. So the main thing is to get focused on the way you get your creativity out to the world and carry it out step by step, because you see it's in your physical karma and in your soul destiny. So it's a very important thing, your creativity. In physical talents, you've got this lovely energy, you've got this 22-4, and the 22 is about the symbol of completion, the blending of mind, body, soul in the circle of the soul. And the 4 is about sharing that. So this is saying you're very versatile, which is why you've done all those sorts of those very varied jobs, and you're probably quite good at them, weren't you?
Not bad.
Yeah. Okay, so you could get a lot done there, okay? So I'd say that, looking at this chart here, yes, so you need to see how are you going to use that source knowledge, Tracy, to serve here. You're here to share knowledge from source and completeness. This is indicating a teacher or communicator of knowledge. That's why you're really here. Okay? That's the purpose of this life. It's a very powerful energy here. And how's your level of trust, Tracy, in life?
Terrible.
Okay.
Terrible.
Yeah, so you've got to work on developing trust in the flow of life, because when you trust in the flow of life and you feel ready to receive the flow of source or God's abundance, really, God in the wider sense as great spirit, more will come to you. Okay. So this is the source of the money issues here. I think you've got to clear the program of not feeling worthy enough to receive love here. The 7 here is what we call a link which unites. And so this is showing that you had heartbreak from all the terrible things that happened as a child, and the inner child hid away and didn't want to be seen because she was scared of being rejected or being hurt or being seen as bad. Is that the case? And then she put out a facade so everyone could see the facade, say, look at this, but don't look at the real me because I'm scared. It's not safe for me to show myself. Yeah?
Yes.
So your decision here is to show yourself, real self or not. So this is an opportunity doing this webinar to do that. Because if you drop the facade and start healing the wounded child here and start to show yourself and open your heart, that will draw the right people and opportunities to help your life happen. Okay, so coming into your power, healing the heart, staying focused on the key things we've got so far, and learning to trust in the flow of life. Okay.
How do you do that?
It takes time. We have a healing tool which our mirror, who used to run this business with me, developed called Divine Healing, where we use higher self to dismantle all the programs I just described.
That's what I feel like I need.
Yeah.
Dismantling. Rescaffolding.
Yeah. So basically it peels the ego's onion of all these programs we're talking about. And then you can get back into wholeness. So.
And I'm on the very bottom of the survival rung right now. So.
Yeah, I can hear that. That's why I'm thinking of the most efficient way to help you here. Okay. So. I'll talk a bit more about that. So let me get this. So let's go back to here. Need to essentially gonna share. I'll just explain the principle of how to actually work through what's in your contract. Okay.
Okay.
Right. That's the thing I want to talk about here. So I'll just move this over. If you want to clear all the issues we've talked about so far, okay, so the contract gives you the spiritual map of life of what's there. This process I'm going to talk about now is how you clean up what's there so you get the life you do desire. Okay. All right. So say this is disempowerment. Okay. This red dot. So we've identified what it is. So we're sort of halfway there. And you have a willingness and desire and courage to transmute that. Tracy, do you want to transmute that disempowerment?
Yes. Yes, I'm just looking at this.
Yeah, so the thing here is you've got to bring consciousness, you've got to bring feeling consciousness to the disempowerment, because the ego will try and numb you out. It numbs us out on everything, basically. You've got to feel all the layers of disempowerment, okay, to actually clear it out. Understanding a program is not enough. Okay, you actually have to bring feeling consciousness to it. But what happens is that our ego puts all of this turquoise blue ice around it. It numbs out the negative emotions in us, so we can't feel it. So it preserves the disempowerment in this case.
Right.
Which is why it takes quite a long time for things to shift in life. Okay. So what we got to do is that we got to find a way. Bring that over here. We got to find a way to break through the ego's resistance, to bring consciousness to these layers. And if you bring consciousness to all these different layers of your programs and eventually clear them, then healing is possible, and you can clean it out layer by layer. So I'm just giving you the broad principles of actually how to get where you want to go. And what happens is that, where's my onion? That was the one I want. What happens here, Tracy, is that you peel your ego onion, which is created by your soul contract, and you get back to the essential nature of who you are, which is pure love. Okay? So consciously working on yourself is the key, and the soul contract gives you the map on how to peel this thing, and the higher self can actually help you do that. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So that's the essence of what has to be done. And I'll give you a bit more structure here. So this is what a human being looks like, okay? A human being has a higher self, a part of us which is eternal, which is made up of the God self, the higher emotional body, and the non-linear mind. That's where Mozart got his symphonies and things like that. There's a lower self. That's us in these earth suits, in these human bodies, where a stream of this higher consciousness came in the form of our soul, and our soul contract then it brought in a soul contract, and that created our mental body, our ego mind, our emotional body, full of all the lovely feelings and emotions that we just talked about there. We talked about with you. Creates our 7 energy bodies and our physical body. So your job is to clean up all of this, clean up all the programming that's blocking you connecting to higher consciousness here. All right. Because if you do that, this is what happens. This is the secret of life. As the Yanta Karana, the little blue connection, which is a life force coming in from the higher self, which keeps you alive, expands. You get some unconditional love comes in, and life gets easier. If you notice how those on the spiritual path, who have done a lot of work on themselves, start to look younger. Okay.
Oh.
And those who don't do the work, they look older and they get pretty bitter and wrinkly and get pretty unhappy about life. And that's where grumpy old men and women come from, because they haven't worked on their stuff. Okay. All right. And so if you keep cleaning this out even more, then happens is that the antichron opens more, get more unconditional love, life gets even better. And if you keep working on yourself, like using divine healing or other powerful healing tools, or sit in a cave in Tibet for 40 years, or if you want, okay, and work on your issues, what you get is this. You get complete ego dissolution, so that there's no barrier between the lower self and the higher self. And that's when the higher self really embodies, and this is called enlightenment. It's where this physical vessel we become the walking, talking expression of the soul and the higher self. And that's when life really happens, because what happens there is that because you're completely clear or getting close to it, higher consciousness comes through and it comes out into the reality and makes the good stuff happen. You don't have to get totally enlightened for that to happen, but the more clear you are, the easier it is. And as you clear emotionally, this higher consciousness is like coming through us, we're like a projector, a movie projector, and it's shining the light of higher consciousness into this reality. And this earthly reality is like a big three-dimensional projection screen, and our reality changes by the law of attraction, because we've got a very clear lens, and so we create a better life. Okay, that's where you create a more blissful, flowing, fulfilling life. So the key to actually breaking through all that you've been talking about is to clean up all of this, all the things we've been describing. Then the positive stuff will start.
Soul integration.
Yeah, so bringing in the soul. Yeah, it's raising the frequency of the body enough by clearing the negative emotional patterns that the soul's put in place, so high consciousness can embody, and that's where you reach a point of what we call that soul integration, which is this diagram here. Okay. And so what happens here is that if you clean up enough of your patterns, okay, you spend more time doing the good stuff rather than being stuck on the hard stuff. All right.
The patterns are so patterned. I mean, I'm just incredulous to see each situation is such a pattern. It's just the same. When am I going to get it?
Well, the thing is that you just work with whatever issue is running in the moment. Okay, it's important to work with whatever's strongest, whatever you're facing, is to work with that issue. If you're having an unfocused day, work on being focused. If you're feeling like you're hiding here, show yourself. Okay, heal the wounded heart. Okay. I started using divine healing in about 2006, and then my life completely changed in the past 10 years. I just peeled my ego, but because I had myself, yeah, I knew what was going on. So, okay, and you can either receive treatments, or if you're serious about it, it's better to learn it so you can work on yourself. But then you can also work on others, and that's another way of earning a living as well. Okay. Let's continue with the patterns here. So there's an 11.2 here, which is a building structure. So you like to build structures of knowledge, don't you, Tracy?
I do.
And you like to build physical things as well, like that garden you talked about.
Yes.
Okay. So you're here as a builder of knowledge. So you see your share of knowledge with an open heart with groups of people. So as you heal your heart, you're here to draw lots of like-minded people to you, like this.
Sounds divine.
You're here to draw them together. You're here to build a network of people together. So there's actually a team for you to work with, Tracy. You just got to open your heart enough, heal the heart enough, and they'll turn up. Or people who give you complementary skills and help, and they'll work with you to carry out this mission. So you're here to build a body of knowledge. And the five here is all about, it's like a fetus, something changing and growing. It's actually here, you're here to express the pure truth of spirit. Have you gotten a lot of trouble for expressing the truth in life?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you're here to express the pure truth of spirit in a pioneering way. So, so I would say that you're here to, I think you're actually here as a teacher, a communicator of knowledge to empower people in a pioneering way and give people structure and support to do that. That's your real job, Tracy.
I'm a facilitator for a meditation lessons group right now, just a facilitator.
Yeah.
I don't want to, sort of get in an ego trap of leading or anything like that. And oftentimes I want to be invisible too, but that's disempowerment. But I definitely would like to be a facilitator. Yeah.
Well, I think you're built to do that, because you're built to facilitate from the heart. So there's a parallel track. There's two parallel tracks. There's your own journey of self-healing, which is what we're talking about here. Then there's your outer work in the world as a service soul, as a spiritual seeker. Definitely a facilitator to empower people, to give them support and structure. Okay? And about showing yourself more and more. Okay? That's what you're here to do. So
very good.
That's what you're here. But something very specific you're here to do. That's what I would say.
Really?
Yeah, in the way of doing that. But it's definitely, you got to work on the cutting edge, Tracy, to actually.
Yes.
Otherwise, you get bored. You get bored.
That is so true.
Yeah.
But I am pounding to death the idea of, my favorite phrase is, find what you love and never work a day in your life, or something like that, and what, trying to find that form, and just be, just really, just what, what does that look like? I just have for years just been, I think I need to ease up on that or something and just allow it to happen.
Well, the sixes get very focused. It's got to be a certain way. They get pretty rigid. So you got to let go. You got to let that go, because otherwise you're going to miss the goodies.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you figured that out already.
You're so right.
You miss the goodies. So if you feel like you lock up, it has to be a certain way. Just realize, okay, I've locked up. It means it's something else. I got to let go and just ease back. Okay. Because I'm missing smelling the daisies. I'm missing the right thing. So for you, I would say, how does that sound so far?
This is just really incredible. You're just really hitting on everything. I was just really amazed, just the little bit of knowledge that I have on the Star of David. I was just blown away with that, and you're just sort of bringing it all into more focus for me.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much.
So I would say for you, finding a powerful self-healing tool, for example, like divine healing. I'll just show you it here. Okay. Just make sure that we can see it. You can see the desktop here. So for you, because of the degree of calcification of the ego, what you're up against, I'd recommend you learn how to do it so you can work on yourself. So you can, while you've still got a window of opportunity where you're still at your parents, you can clear all the stuff, especially around trust and empowerment and opening the heart, so that you can actually attract to you the new life you need. So when your parents do move, you've got a new life to go to. I would make that, in terms of priorities, the highest one.
Yes.
Okay, you've got to do something about it, otherwise you're going to be stuck. Okay, so that's what I would recommend. That's one tool, but there may be other tools that you resonate more with, but that's what I'd recommend. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So if you don't work on yourself,
Thank
it
you.
doesn't matter what you think or dream, it won't happen until you clear enough of the programming.
It needs to be cleared up. Yes.
Yeah.
It's very clogged up.
I'll put the links for this on an email to everybody later. But just sort of thinking of the most important thing for you. So that been helpful?
Oh, it's tremendous help.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. I've just resonated so much with this, and I had been thinking about this and reading your book and everything, and this webinar, I saw it at the last minute, and I didn't even know if I had the right time, and it was just all meant to be. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. It works out that way. So let me talk about, where was I going? So I think the other thing you may be good at, okay, is because you love pure truth and you love the structure of truth, you may be good at giving that to people. Okay? Delivering that to people. Okay? So that could be another way to make a living and do something you love doing.
I am interested in divination, and
yeah,
I have cards and runes, and
so you may want to consider, any of you guys listening, if you're interested in helping lightworkers come along, you might want to consider learning how to be a soul contract reading practitioner, because you have the classic configuration of want to know the absolute truth, want to know the structure of how life works down to the minutest detail. So you might want to consider that as another way of making a living, because this can be done remotely. As long as you've got Skype, a broadband connection, you can make a living.
That's true.
Okay. Yeah.
And I've been saying I'd like to make a living using my computer.
Well, this is how you do it. I'm sitting just outside London, but last week I was doing this in New York and no one knew the difference. And before that I was in Boulder because I was filming another show with Gaia.com. And no one knows the difference, really. Or I could be anywhere.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Learning to do the work basically helps you, and people go through the experience you've just been through just now, and they get the spiritual map of their life. You as a practitioner have an immediate understanding of the issues, and you can guide them, use that as a guide to help them work through their issues. And if you learn divine healing for yourself, you can also use it on clients as well, because you're very sensitive to energy, which means you'll probably be quite natural at it, because you can sense what the energy's doing. Okay, and so that builds trust with clients, and they get very fast results with using these tools, two tools together.
Yes.
Soul contract is the absolute truth, because when the ego has absolute truth, it surrenders, it just melts. Because it spends most of its time trying to lie to you, trying to tell you a whole bunch of stuff which is not true, and keep you in an illusion. But when you bring a higher level of truth like this work to it, it can do nothing about it, because higher consciousness dissolves lower consciousness. So people make a lot of shifts. So those two tools would be very powerful for you. Okay. And then you don't have to work for anyone else eventually.
Oh, that sounds so wonderful.
Yeah. Well, you have to create your own business, obviously, and that takes quite a bit of effort.
Yes.
So when you do this,
I do have some skills with that.
Yeah, I think you know how to do that. So if you run an office, you know how to get organized. It requires a lot of organization, but the main thing is that you become empowered because it's your business. You're in charge. You see.
Yeah.
Which is
have to be a grown up,
because you need to be in charge. Pretty much. I think it's about time at 53 to be grown up. So, basically, when we do this work, it's train people. It's about, it helps you understand everyone, yourself and everyone around you. But basically, you can deliver these readings and really profoundly change people's lives, just like I've been describing. We help you open up your channel here, and basically you learn experientially. We spend 3 days out of 5 days giving readings on your friends and family, going through the manual, which the book is based upon, but giving readings on everyone's friends and family, and relating the subjective experiences of real people's lives with what the interpretations are about. So basically you get a transmission of what this really means, and it activates it in you permanently. And then we spend the subsequent 2 days teaching you how to deliver readings, hold space to deliver this high level of truth, so someone transforms and they get aligned to their real purpose. And the purpose of all this is just basically to wake up as many spiritual seekers as possible, really. That's what we're actually doing.
Yes.
And we have ongoing professional development, Facebook groups, masterclasses, a mentoring program with that.
Yeah, you do this in, you come to South Carolina, don't you?
I used to go to North Carolina, but we do this online. We do this online as well on Zoom.
Oh.
Using this technology you guys are using tonight as well. So I'll be probably moving to Northern California to teach it, this work. Basically, delivering readings basically brings people a lot of peace. You see how you feel now compared to when you started. And it brings people a relief that there's actually some order and meaning to their life. And because they've heard the truth, they can actually accept this is the way it is. And it helps people move out of feeling like a victim and taking charge, which is, I think, what we're doing here for you. This is a means of taking empowerment and taking charge here, and they can change their lives. Okay. And so the purpose of this sort of work is to help align people to this, really. To meet you briefly, Tracy, while you move things around there. Yeah.
My Kindle is losing power, and it has a very short cord, and I'm trying to find a place to...
Get that guy plugged in. Okay, so...
Okay, I'm back.
All right. So the main thing is it helps people do this. This is what this work is about. It helps them align to their life purpose, or soul purpose, which is this diagram here. And most people are on the path of suffering or flowing with the ego because they're following the left brain of what they're programmed to do by the reality. The soul contract work says, well, actually, the pathway is over here. Let me change color. The pathway is over here. This is called following the spiritual signature. These dark text. It's got a bit funny here. It's the path of bliss. So if you follow in each moment what opens your heart the most, and you converge on the spiritual signature, but in each moment there's one right action which opens your heart the most. As you converge on that, life opens and flows, no matter what's happening in the external reality, because you're expanding your consciousness by clearing your ego from a little ego here trying to figure it out to the vastness of spirit, which has a much vaster picture of how reality works. And when you do that, life opens and flows. So there is one right action, no matter how dire life has got. There's a way out of it. Okay, there's a way forward if you surrender to the flow of spirit. And the divine healing clears the ego up, clears out the ego, so you can start to move this way. So you can go with what feels right, not what you think you should do, as you've discovered it doesn't work so well. But the ego fools you so much, but to actually help you get to what you are meant to do. Okay, it's called following the spiritual signature. So that's the most important diagram I'm going to show you tonight. Because when you do that, life opens. So the way you decide what's the next right action is that you close your eyes and you try on the feeling or the vision of what the choices are in each moment. Okay, and the one which opens your heart the most, provided you can feel what's happening in your heart, is the next right action. If you take that, life opens. If you do what the left brain of the ego says, you tend to stay on the path of suffering here. Okay? So this is what this work is about. It's about going from here to here.
Okay.
All right. And that's how you live a more aligned, more fulfilling life. Okay. So working with people really touches them deeply. It helps them align to that path. It's work though. It's not going to happen overnight. It requires a lot of dedication to do it because our human egos are very tough things to deal with.
Yes.
And as you know, you can open to your deeper level of yourself in connection with others with this work. And basically, at the end of the training, you should be able to deliver reasonably good readings because of the way we designed the training with the transmission. If you've engaged with the whole thing, so
is it just a one training?
For birth chart, it's 5 days. Okay, it starts next on the 5th to the 9th. We've got the next one, which runs online.
The 5th. Oh, the 5th of November.
Yeah, we've got one starting then. We run them about 3 times a year, but that's the next one. So,
wow.
But you be able to come out of that and actually, with a bit of practice on friends and family, you can actually then go out and start earning a living doing it. Okay. So you get paid a lot more per hour than you do in retail doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
So just something to think about.
I get along quite good with my customers.
Yeah, but it's not really what you want to do, though.
No.
No. Okay. So these are the dates. Okay. So that's the next one. So we're people live in here, and sorry, but a lot of people will be online on the web conference using Zoom, which is what you guys are using now. And so the time, what time zone are you in, Tracy?
Central.
Okay, so it starts at 6:45 in the morning to 2:30 p.m. Central, because we start at 12:45 at midday and go to about 8:30 at night in the UK. But it allows people in the Pacific and California
What
to come.
day is that?
Saturday to Wednesday.
Saturday to Wednesday every day at that time.
Every day, yeah. You have to turn up. You can't actually watch it as a recording afterwards because it's a it's a transmission. It's purely experiential. It's a practice. Okay.
Right.
All right. All right. So, yeah. And if you're interested, you can find out. This is the pricing here. Okay. So the website is soulcontractreading.com to find out what's going on there. If you want to follow on that.
I've been there.
Okay. So it's just some ideas for you because if you're highly intuitive, like structure, and if your heart opens to it, then it's the right thing. If not, maybe it's something.
Yes, I'm very drawn.
Yeah. So that's what these tools are really for, to awaken and free us from the slavery of the ego, really, and to come onto our true path. Okay. All right. Thank you,
That
Tracy.
was just wonderful. Thank you,
Yeah.
David. I just don't know what to say. I'm very excited about that, about wearing that and having that opportunity available to me. Thank you.
My pleasure. So I'm always looking for people who want to come online. So we got some time now. Harry, do you want to speak? Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me okay?
I've been listening. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, cool. Do you want to be on now? I'll give you a quick reading. So we've got some time.
Okay, great.
Okay, so let me just save Tracy's chart. Hang on. Let me just save Tracy's chart here.
Okay.
And then we're gonna load yours up. Okay, so Tracy, I will save a PDF of yours and send it to you later.
Thank you.
And then you'll be on, Harry. So let's close this one. So Harry, welcome. So let's put your name up here. So Harry, what's your birth name?
Harold Wright Gale.
So Harold, W-R-I-G-H-T?
Correct.
Okay, and what's your date of birth?
11/9/1964.
Another Scorpio.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So I've got to fill all these things in here because
Yeah, no problem.
we have what's got a data protection act in the UK. We have to have your consent to actually process your data. So, okay, Harry. So we can get into this because we've explained a lot more. So, what's your main question in life you want to answer to Harry, and we'll answer it from this chart. It's a big question, still
Well,
there.
I feel like I'm on the path, and I just basically want to refine and ever forward and get better. So I guess the question is, how am I doing so far? I mean,
so what are you doing in life at the moment in terms of work and getting?
So I'm my own. I've owned my own business. I used to want to be a rock star guitar player, and realized I was better off servicing people in that industry.
Yeah.
So I have now been a recording studio owner for the last 23 or 4 years.
Yep.
And work for myself. I work at home, no commute, have 2 little ones and 1 big one and a wife. And so I can't complain. Life is good. I'm not making a mint, but I'm sane and happy. And that's, to me, the most important thing, is to stay happy, help others reach the kind of happiness that I'm experiencing, and experience more of it for myself and family, and whatever financial stability. Those are kind of the goals. Stay happy, stay alive, and spread happiness and peace.
Okay. Let's take a look at this chart. So, has life been emotionally very intense for you, Harry? That's what this 45 is telling me.
Well, I did have a period of downtime in the early mid 90s.
Yeah.
But more than that, I think, and that was I just kind of locked away, and I eventually, after about 6 years, pulled myself out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm better for it, because it really kicked me in the butt as far as how to be a better man to my partner and myself, and just kind of grow up a little bit. But another challenge that may be reflected in there is that my father took his life about 4 years ago, and I think we all dealt with it pretty well. I got to, tell him a few things before he left. So, but those things are probably the only real deep emotional, like, they're not traumas, but they were challenges. And I think what happens when those challenges come, you end up going on autopilot if you can maintain your sanity. And I think I've been pretty lucky that I was able to do that in both cases. And help my sisters, because I think the death of the father, the sisters were a little more hit than I was. But he was basically trying to spare the family medical issues, and he was 83 at the time. So I mean, it's not like he didn't lead a good life and leave us as prepared as we could be, although we were shocked it happened. So I think we're all dealing with it. And my mother's still around, and she's 89, going to be 89 this coming year. So I'm grateful that I have both, and they were good parents. So I'm grateful I have both memories, positive, and one of them still around, and she gets to see her granddaughter. And life is good. I want to learn. I read the book, and I still kind of I don't know how to make sense of the numbers, and that's really why I'm here.
Okay. Well, let's do that right now.
Okay.
So the 14-5 here, you got 3 of them.
Yeah.
I've explained how it works for Tracy, but I'm going to get to the point here with you. You create lots of intensity in life, in relationships, to have people mirror back to you parts of yourself you haven't seen, and vice versa.
I believe it.
So you're here on a process of self-discovery through intense relationship at all levels with all sorts of people. And And you're here actually as a writer, Harry.
Correct.
This is a writer. You're here to write based upon direct, raw, visceral life experience, and to share the absolute truth of that with the world to help others who are following a similar path to you. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, I've got an album hopefully coming out in the spring.
Yeah. And here, this is the musician, the creative one. Okay, so you're definitely on the right path. So this is getting the creative ideas out in the world into manifest form. So you're listening, Tracy? So this is actually how it works.
I am.
So you and Harry should have a chat, I think. Okay. So this is, you're here to get the creativity out to the world. Looks like a treble clef a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To get it out to the world and to connect to the deepest soul creativity and just keep bringing it out there. Okay?
Great.
I think you're too sensitive to be a hard rock musician or anything like Harry.
Well, it's
You're too sensitive for that sort of life.
now, yeah, I basically I had a few near brushes, but I've always sort of just said, no, I'm going to stay home and not get wrapped up in the nuts end of it. But I'll send you my record when it's done. It still rocks.
Yeah, it's a hard life being a rock musician.
Yeah.
It's the way the music business works.
Yes, it sure is.
Very tough life. So I think you're better off in the studio. Really,
agreed.
I think you're better off because it's a bit more stable. Okay,
good.
But that's the creativity coming out, and you're here to reach. See, the 17 is a symbolic mouth of God in the spiritual sense. You're here to reach, take the word of God out into society. This is the amoeba. This is the watery emotional creature. This is about you grounding and coming into your body emotionally, forming clear emotional boundaries and learning to visit society but not getting over involved in it. And
good.
not getting over attached to other people's stuff. And so I think you're helping others get their message out. You're to the studio. You're transmitting that word out there to others. And you've got a particularly the toughest karmic pattern here. There's 22 fours. So on a bad day, Harry, do you feel like there's no source, there's no God, and you feel a bit crazy, off the wall?
I wouldn't say I feel there's no source or no God, but there's definitely days, and I think I've learned from them is where when those days happen, you just say, F it, I surrender, and then it'll get better the minute you do.
Yeah, you just got to let it go because the soul has chosen to have maximum disconnect from source. Like there is no God on a bad day.
Yeah.
And the whole point of this life is to reconnect to source. Okay.
But it's illusory, right?
Well, ultimately, yeah. But when you're in the body, it seems pretty real. So,
yeah.
So we gotta let's sort of be realistic here.
Yeah.
It has to be real. I mean, we are in the matrix here.
Oh, yeah.
It does seem real, because if it wasn't real, you wouldn't engage with it.
Okay.
But when you understand how the rules work, which is what this work is about,
it's sort of a catalyst, right?
Then you can say, well, okay, there's certain things. I understand how I'm built, and if you can flow with how you're built, which is what this work is about, and then work out how to transmute it, just like we did with Tracy, then life can change. Right. But if you try and fight it without any structure, any map, then it's really hard work. It's hit and miss then. So for you, opening to high consciousness, Harry, is the key. Meditation here, I would say, we do a thing called light body integration work, which might help.
Okay.
Anything to connect you to source, because if you can connect to that and open up to that, that'll bring the next layer of this life to you. A lot more high. When we talked about the antakarana before,
right?
This here there's a bit of a squeeze on the antakarana here. If you open that up through high consciousness work, then a lot more is going to come through you. I think there's more. I think there's a lot more for you to do.
Good.
I would say. I think you're just getting underway. You've had a good life so far, but I think there's a lot more that can come out.
Great.
It needs to be pioneering, cutting edge, not mainstream. It's just like Tracy, you'll get bored with mainstream. And I think the music and your service is about just unconditionally loving others. This is about the 13 falls, the divine feminine aspect of God. Just unconditionally loving others and sharing that love to the world to heal them. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you're here to take care of others. You said you had 3 kids. Did I get that right?
Yeah. Yeah, my littlest just turned 1 yesterday.
Okay. Are you a good dad?
I think so.
Yeah. You love being a dad?
I do. John Lennon inspired me before I ever had kids, and then when I had kids, I went, okay, here we go. Let's do this thing.
Yeah. So taking care of them is a very important part of the mission, because once you learn how to share yourself unconditionally with them.
Well, they take care of me.
Yeah. Well, they tend to be more conscious and smarter than us, our kids.
Yeah, they are, and they're the battery. You know, if you get down or you're low, you just hug a little one, and they're gonna give it back to you, so you can charge up to fight another day.
Yeah. So taking care of others and sharing the flow of love, and especially the 22, the flow of knowledge, is really important for you.
Yeah.
And,
can't get enough.
And in this
knowledge.
Yeah. And in the current name, I'll think we got through that.
Yeah, I was wondering how that was going to pan out, because it sure looked a lot different.
Yeah, well, this is not in the book, but I'll explain how it works. So your birth name is like the cake of your life. It's who you are and always will be.
Yeah.
The current name is like a layer of icing on the cake.
Yeah.
It fuses energy across. It has a positive, negative, or no effect depending on the relative relationship of the numbers. So what your current name is doing is that this is life and death here. This is why the impact of your father passing is so strong. Okay, this is life and death.
Yep.
It's designed to shatter your old structure of truth. So it goes all in the air like this. And then so you're here, and then the new structure of truth will rebuild itself at a higher level.
Great.
Okay, so you need to allow the periods of chaos when someone physically or emotionally dies, that they leave your life, physically or just emotionally, there's a parting of ways. It's about learning emotional resiliency with the two. This applies to you as well, Tracy. Okay, so the departure of your parents to Los Angeles will be extremely chaotic and disruptive, Tracy, but you need to allow it to do that, because then a better life will come out of it. If you just give it some space to rearrange itself at a higher level, even though for both of you, it's about, oh my God, I've got to have the new structure now, but just let it go. Don't try and hold on to it. Mm-hmm. Let the pieces fly around in chaos for longer than it's comfortable. There's something really new and wonderful is going to happen from it.
I think it did too. It gave me a different perspective of sort of like being the passenger to taking the wheel, of life.
Well, that's what happens when. Are you the oldest child?
I'm the youngest.
Okay.
I have older brothers and sisters, but they're all out of the house, and I'm now on in the house that was built for my grandmother, and I'm living with my mother and my wife and kids. So I'm sort of the man of the house at this point.
So you're the head of the family then, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. Well, this is coming into your masculine power here, becoming the leader, becoming the lead generation. So that changes things a lot, because everyone's looking to you now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've always been like, hey, everything's cool. Just, do what you want to do. It's like, well, we're looking to you. So
actually, that's not good enough, they say. Give us the wisdom. Yeah, that's what they want. So it's a different sort of role.
Right.
Yeah. So you got to grow into the mature masculine here.
Yeah.
And the 8 here is about being grounded in the process.
Okay, great.
So I would say this is about building structures of truth, leading with clean, mature masculine energy, conscious use of your power in the world in service to others. That's what this is about. Staying in your creativity, being a pioneer, writing books or expressing yourself through your album.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you can connect to the source here, that would really deliver some amazing stuff.
Good.
If it's not already doing that. So the most important thing is to connect to higher consciousness. Okay.
Great.
That's the most important thing, because that will give you the rest of the gifts of this life.
Yeah, I feel like the desire and the awareness is there, but the actual the how-to nuts and bolts, I haven't got there yet. And but that's what I'm skirting around the edge of it to get into it. So that's great. I'll focus on that.
So this work here may be of interest to you, light body integration.
I wrote that down. Yeah, I'm intending to pursue that and the training eventually.
Which training?
This training, possibly, just not necessarily to be in business for myself, but to learn more about it for myself and family, and how to integrate it between my wife and I.
Yeah. You see, you've got the same pattern as Tracy here. You need to have the structure, and you want the absolute truth.
Absolute.
Nothing less will do, because you know when it's not the truth, and it's sort of boring when it's not the truth, really.
Well, and we've been living in a sea of deceit and BS, so I'm done. I'm ready.
Well, that's the way life in the Matrix works.
Yeah.
Till you find what's true.
Yep.
You see. So is that enough for you, Harry?
Absolutely. And
keep you going?
If you do move to Northern California, look me up. I'm in Sebastopol, and I would love to help you out with whatever my skill set with the studio. If you need VO work or any of that stuff, let me know.
It'd only be visiting. I usually come for about 4 or 5 weeks, and I would once a year, and I would run. I just got back from New York on Monday, teaching a workshop at Omega in upstate New York.
That's where I'm from originally.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I tend to come across and we teach a couple of workshops.
I'll be watching.
Yeah.
If you get to San Francisco Bay Area, I'll look for you.
Yeah, we'll be up near Nevada City, probably somewhere around there.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that's probably that's the current spot we're thinking about. So.
Beautiful up there.
Okay, thank you.
Right, thank you so much.
So, okay, a bit of time. So,
I'm just off all over the place. Okay, hang on.
Sonia, can you hear me?
Oh, that was wrong. Everybody's swearing in here. Come on, computer. Williams.
Sonia, can you hear me?
Yep.
Do you want me to give you a quick reading? There's a bit of time.
That's incredible. So it paid for itself.
Okay, I think we'll leave that. Okay. All right, guys. So are there any further questions? I'll just turn your microphone on again, Tracy, because
I know right where Nevada City is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I lived an hour away from there. 25 years.
Okay. Yeah, I like the area. It's lovely.
There's a massive vortex there.
Yeah, the energy's quite strong.
Yeah.
It's very strong. So Harry or Tracy, are there any further questions you have? Because I think Sonia's tied up with something else there.
I had a question about the Harry Gale name versus Harold Wright Gale. Just in general, is it helping or hurting?
If I think about that. Well, the 8 is grounding your 5. The 11 gives you lots of structure for building things, your business. There's nothing detrimental about the configuration, Harry.
Great.
But I would say for you, what you really need is to have a longer name. So you have 7 aspects, so you have a wider range of expression. Because what I would do with your name is I'd want to put a 9 here, an optimal name. I'll put a link for that up as well later. Okay. I'll email everybody. You really want to put a 9, this big dragon, which is what we were talking about with Tracy, to burn through the blockage in the ego to connect to source. Because if you can unlock this guy here, it is rock and roll life. In terms of life, things will really happen.
Cool.
And open up the heart with bring more of the feminine energy through.
That's interesting about the 9s, because I've always was born on the 9th, and 4s and 9s are I think I'm in my 4th soul life, standard numerology, but 4s and 9s have always kind of I've had an affinity for them, and I was born in the year of the dragon. So you just said 9 dragon fixes it all. I don't know if that has any bearing.
It does. It means that
it feels like it would.
We're probably on the right track.
Yeah.
You're probably on the right track with that.
So Harry freaking Gale or something like that.
Well, do you like Harry and do you like Gale as a name?
I do, because growing up in New York, when your name is Harold, it's just a kick me sign. So when I moved out here when I was 15, I thought, okay, I can reinvent myself, and I'll just change it to Harry. And nobody will know the difference, and so that's what happened. And but I once I found out that the icing might influence the cake, I'm like, oh, I got to ask him. Does it? I delivery here.
I would say name optimization. To just read the process. We'll put the link on the email to everybody.
Okay. Right.
I think that would expand you. I think Harry Gale's limited you. I think it's now time to expand out in the world a bit more.
Cool.
Okay, that's something that can be handled pretty quickly. Okay.
Thank you.
So
I had a question about my name too.
Yeah, we'll get to yours now because now there's a little bit of time. Let me load up your both names here, Tracy. Hang on, just load this up, and we'll just see what we didn't have time to look at that before. Okay, I can see why you're having a hard time right here. You got 21-3 here, Tracy, which is about doing things the hard way and enduring a lot of hardship.
Thank you. Yes. Okay,
that's what it is. So you need name optimization ASAP because this is killing you. This is the thing that's killing you. This is rolling the big boulder of life over you, backwards and forwards, 24/7. Which is what's going on, isn't it?
Now, Tracy, that's Tracy Gasper. I sent you an email and I said the name Rachel has been coming to me like 3 times, and earlier in my life I thought that I would like that name if I ever had a child, but I just don't know.
Let's have a quick look, shall we? So what would that name look like?
Like Tracy Rachel Gasper, Rachel Tracy Gasper, I don't know.
Let's play with it a little bit, shall we? So might be able to get a quick fix now.
I was also thinking of the name. I tried it in the TRASEA, like the C, Tracy, Louise Gasper, but I lost my dragon. So
yeah, I wouldn't use this one, Tracy Rachel Gasper, because this 9 here.
Get rid of it.
This one. This creates a clash. It's the same energy. That'll make it worse. This creates more hardship.
Yeah.
I would say you need a process of no optimization. You need a 9 in spiritual talents, just like Harry, to break through this guy. Because you can break through this guy, and it'll break through this guy. Then your life will happen. So let's say name optimization for you as well.
Name optimization.
Yeah, I'll put the link up on the email I sent out. Okay.
Okay.
And see, this 3 is
so basically trying to get rid of that 21.
This is the thing giving you such a hard time, this guy.
Okay. Well,
and being betrayed by the masculine here. That's what that is.
Yes.
And I wouldn't get into
I use Tracy Louise Gasper, so
you don't want to use that either long term. You need that.
Oh, okay. What about Tracy Hubbard? That's the name I have now, my married name.
Well, this will be the last one because you need to do this.
Oh, right. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but we can do that quickly because you need to do it properly. Hang on. How do you spell Hubbard?
Hubbard.
Okay, let's try that.
Hubbard. I thought I lost my dragon, though.
You don't have a dragon here. You need it here.
Yeah.
Burn this guy and burn this guy is what you need. But this name leads you to see that 3 here and here is what's created the money issue, loss of money because you don't feel worthy to be loved. This created the divorce and the betrayal by the con man. That's the masculine, improper use of the masculine energy. And this is empowerment. So this name's got to go. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Even phonetically, Gasper.
Yeah.
Gasping for breath.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Okay.
And this is also
total optimization ASAP.
I would say that, yeah. And this is another piece of data for you because we've got a few minutes left. Is the 16-7. This is saying you're here to take spiritual knowledge and make it available in plain English to people. Okay, this is another piece of information for you. So if you decided to do this work, you'd actually be able to access the man in the street with this high level spiritual knowledge, but in plain English. So it's telling us who you're meant to address out there in the world. Okay.
Okay. Do I make an appointment with you for optimization?
Yeah. If you read the link, it explains how to prepare for that.
Okay.
You have to do a lot of preparation, then make an appointment and we can help you out there.
Yeah, I knew I needed that.
Yeah, well, you're right, because your five's picked it up. I mean, so for both you and anyone who's listening who's got five, just trust your intuition because it's always right. Fives are hypersensitive. You just know what's true for you.
And I also knew I needed it ASAP.
Well, given what I've seen here and given the situation you're in financially, yeah, this is ASAP. This is pretty urgent because of this guy and this guy. Okay. And this is you.
Thank you.
Going around in circles, trying out lots of things, not fitting in the right place, maybe till now.
Yep.
Okay, and that's normal as well. Okay, people, that's been great. So thank you for that. Anything?
Thank you so much,
comments?
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So
it was nice meeting you, Harry.
You too, Tracy. You take care.
Yeah.
And everyone.
Yeah. So
And everyone.
this is the link to go to if you want to check out the training. There's still places on the 5th. Just get in contact with us there if you're interested. And
do you know when the next one is going to be after this one?
Not set yet. Depends how it goes.
Okay.
So, but we'll put you on the mailing list, Harry, and let you know.
Yeah, I'm on. I've got the.
Yeah, well, it'll come out there when we sort it out. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoy that, and we'll get an email out later. There'll be a Facebook group which you can discuss things on as well, which we'll set up. You'll get all the links on the email as well.
I need my optimization name so I can set up a Facebook page.
You sure do. Okay. All right.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Happy
Bye.
Halloween.
Bye.